Cheating is one of the most painful things one human being can do to another. It ends relationships. It destroys trust. It creates wounds that take years to heal. And if you asked most people whether this is a modern problem, a product of modern relationships and modern pressures, most of them would probably say yes. They would be wrong. The evidence that ancient humans cheated on each other is written into their bones, their teeth, their DNA, and the archaeological record of the settlements they left behind. And what that evidence reveals is not just that ancient humans were unfaithful. It is that the patterns of ancient infidelity, the reasons behind it, the way it was handled, and the consequences it carried were shaped by forces so deep and so old that they are still operating inside modern human beings right now in ways most people have never stopped to think about. Let us start with the bones. When archaeologists excavate ancient burial sites, they are not just counting bodies. They are reading biological stories encoded in calcium and carbon. One of the most powerful tools in modern archaeology is ancient DNA analysis. And ancient DNA has revealed something that should fundamentally change how we think about ancient human relationships. A landmark study published in 2019 analyzed the genomes of thousands of individuals from ancient European burial sites spanning several thousand years. The researchers were looking for family relationships, who was buried with whom, who was genetically related to whom, and what the family structures of ancient communities actually looked like. What they found was startling. In many ancient burial sites, the individuals buried together as apparent family units were not always genetically related in the way the burial arrangement suggested. Children were sometimes buried with men who were not their biological fathers. Genetic analysis of ancient populations revealed patterns of paternity that did not match the social structures archaeologists had assumed from the burial evidence. In some ancient populations, the rate of what geneticists call extra-pair paternity, children fathered by someone other than the social partner, was measurably higher than modern rates in comparable societies. The bones did not lie. Ancient humans were having children with people they were not partnered with. But here is where the story gets significantly more complicated. Because cheating, in the sense of a deliberate violation of an exclusive commitment, requires that an exclusive commitment existed in the first place. And the picture of ancient human pair bonding is far more varied and far more nuanced than the modern Western model of monogamy suggests. Human beings are what biologists call socially monogamous, but not sexually monogamous. This is a distinction that matters enormously. Social monogamy means forming a stable pair bond, living together, raising children together, cooperating economically. Sexual monogamy means exclusive mating. In the animal kingdom, these two things are often completely separate. Many species that form stable pair bonds also mate outside those bonds consistently. Humans are firmly in this category. The evidence from evolutionary biology, cross-cultural anthropology, and ancient DNA all points to the same conclusion. Human beings evolved in conditions where stable pair bonds coexisted with occasional mating outside those bonds. Not because ancient humans were morally deficient, but because both strategies carried evolutionary advantages that natural selection preserved in the human genome. For males, the logic of extra-pair mating is straightforward from an evolutionary perspective. More reproductive opportunities meant more potential offspring. A male who mated only within his pair bond was putting all of his reproductive investment into one relationship. A male who occasionally mated outside it had the possibility of additional offspring at relatively low direct cost to himself. For females, the evolutionary logic is more sophisticated. A female who mated with a high-quality male outside her primary pair bond could potentially give her children better genes than her primary partner provided, while still receiving the resources, protection, and parental investment of the primary partnership. This strategy, which evolutionary biologists called the good genes hypothesis, has been documented across numerous species and has specific evidence in human populations. The evidence is in sperm biology. Human male sperm competition is real. The human ejaculate contains multiple types of sperm, not all of which are designed to fertilize eggs. Some appear to function as what researchers have called kamikaze sperm. This biological arms race only makes evolutionary sense if females were, at some point in human evolutionary history, regularly mating with more than one male close enough in time that the sperm of different males competed inside the female reproductive tract. The human body is carrying the biological record of ancient infidelity in the design of sperm itself. But what did ancient human social life actually look like around these realities? The anthropological evidence from contemporary hunter-gatherer societies, pair bonds were real. They were socially recognized. They carried economic and social weight within the group. The violation of a pair bond was a recognized social transgression that carried real consequences: public shaming, social ostracism, sometimes violence. But things turned brutal when the real Ronaldo de Estimienset tells us something important. Rules only exist where the behavior they prohibit also exists.